Hello, hello, hello. Good morning or good afternoon or good night, wherever you are in the world. This is Linda. You're back in the groove again, career coach. And I'm here to share a few tips with you today in terms of your job search. Over the last few weeks, I have been talking about things that you can do to move forward in your job search. Today, I want to concentrate more on mindset. Hello. Type your name in the chat box. I'd love to know who's listening. So I want to concentrate more on mindset. When we're looking for work, it's so important to have the right mindset. Now, I'm going to encourage you to reset that button, reboot. You know what happens when we reset, when we reboot, we start again. So whatever happened yesterday or whatever has happened in the last few weeks, it's done, it's gone. Press that reset button and you're starting anew. This is a new day, it's a new Monday. That's one way of clearing things up. So one of the ways to get motivated and to get inspired when we're doing our job search is by setting some goals. Now, I'm going to encourage you that you sit down once a week or, every day, and that you think about a couple of things here. What are you willing to do this week? What must you do this week? And what will you do this week? So in terms of job search, right? What will you do this week? What must you do this week? What are you willing to do this week? So write yourself a list of things that you're willing to do, things that you will do, and things that you must do. I'm going to stop here for a second, and I'm going to say hi. Type your name in the chat box. I'd love to know who's watching right now. And if you have any questions along the way, please just add them along, all right? All right, so I mentioned what are you willing to do, what must you do, and what will you do this week. Now I'm going to add a little bit more information here to help you think about. So thinking about what you will do or what you must do or what you're willing to do, I also want you to think of how many hours this week will you put or must you put or are you willing to put on your job search? Okay, so you might have, I'm willing to put 10 hours on my job search, or I must put 10 hours on my job search, or I will put 10 hours on. And you could decide if it's the must or if it's the will or if it's the I'm willing to, okay? So the things that I'm going to tell you now, you can choose if you will do it or if you must do it or if you're willing to do it, all right? How's that for a plan? All right, so I mentioned how many hours will you be spending on your job search or are you wanting to spend on your job search? The next thing too is when are you willing to put these hours in your job search? So when means which day, which time. You want to be specific. So I'm willing to put 2 hours of job search on Tuesday this week. Or I must put 2 hours of job search. You get the idea, right? You get the idea. And so a couple of more things that I'm going to ask you to consider is which employers or which industries will you be researching on this week? And you want to add that same formula. I will, I must, or I'm willing to. All right, and let's look at one more. Who will you connect with? Who will you connect with? Or who are you willing to connect with? Or who must you connect with? And I'm saying this part here because sometimes we might have had a contact last week that encouraged us to do something, or maybe we talked to somebody last week that told us that there was an opening here. You get the idea. So this week, must you follow up? Are you willing to follow up? Or will you follow up? All right. So take a look at your schedule and sit down either on, my clients, they'll choose to sit down on the Sunday night. Some choose to do it on Monday morning, and they will write themselves a list of things that they will do, that they must do, and that they're willing to do. And of course, these things include hours of job search, employers they'll be contacting, for example, who they'll be connecting with, and so on. So I want you to think about that and to, start implementing that idea as well. Now, just a little bit about my Supercharge Your Career Confidence pilot program. It starts soon. It starts technically next week. If you're willing to consider that, or if you must consider that, or if you want to consider that, write interested in the chat box and I'll follow up with you. It's a pilot program, so a lot of it hasn't been determined yet. Whether it's going to be a coaching program where I'm going to hold you accountable, or whether it's going to be structured where there's a different theme every week. I haven't decided that. Right now, I'm kind of leaning on a coaching program with content so that you will have access to content, and then you'll get coaching every week. That's what I'm leaning on. I think people need to feel that they're in a momentum and they want to move forward with their job search. And if that interests you, please just type interested in the chat box and I will follow up with you as well. Now, it's a pilot program. That means the cost is really, really low. If you want more information, just add interested in the chat box and I'll send you information. So what did you find helpful from today's live? Type in one thing or two things that you found helpful. And I know if you're just joining me, you're not really going to know what I talked about, so you'll have to watch the replay. And if you're watching the replay, just write #replay. Along the way, if you have any questions, please add them to the chat box. So those of you that have been following all along, what is one thing that you're going to take away, or that you are taking away from this live? Any comments at all? All right, then I'm going to encourage you to watch it right from the beginning and to add your comments in the comment section. And if you have questions about your job search and so on, or questions about the Supercharge Your Career coaching program, type it in the chat box and I will answer your questions. All right, everybody, it's Monday morning. What a great way to start the week. Well, it is Monday morning here. It might be afternoon or might be evening where you are. But have yourself a great day or a great evening, and I will see you during the week because I do about 2 or 3 lives a week. Bye. Have a great day, everybody.